Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Jump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's in the house and we'll get into this. Mr. Peepaw Bill, my man, thanks for being a member. Offshore Miner, good to see you. Steven Cicero, we have all set in the house. Leo Lustig, good to see you, buddy. Let's see who else is here. Black Hat Team, Nick K, what's up, guys? Good to see you. Squared Away Crypto, Patrick Murphy, it's early for you. Good to see you, buddy. Alexander, let's see. Deborah, good morning. We have 10 minutes to midnight. Dom G, Crypto Mikkel, my man. Nate G, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Steven Mint, I think I already said all set, but Crypto KJ, all for you miners, good to see you guys. All right, anybody else that may have missed, I apologize. Let's get into it. Bitcoin, things look like they're in the red today. A little bit of a pullback, 1%, right? We have 67,382 bucks. Honestly, we're still looking great. Ethereum at 26.36. We got Solana at 167 bucks. XRP is at 53 cents. Let's see. APT over here. Is this Aptos? I believe $10.93, up almost 10% on the day. Sui is down 5% to $1.96. We got Caspa at a bit over 13.5 cents. Nice to see that start moving in the positive direction. It's up 4.25%. We have Near Protocol down 4% to $4.71. ETC over here, we have $19.21. Let's see. LTC over here at 70 bucks, 70.53 to be exact. We have Uniswap up 6.2% today to $8.08. Nice. Link is up 3.5%, just about $12.21. Dogecoin still holding over 14 cents. Look at that, 14.3 to be exact. Nice. We have BNB at 593 bucks. Toncoin is at $5.24. BitTensor 558 bucks. If anybody's got that. Render, I want to see what Render's gonna do. I hope it does well this bull run. I don't have any right now. I actually sold out of it, but $5.22. I feel like it has a good future, but I guess only time will tell. All right, moving on. Crypto bubbles, see what we got over here. Biggest loser on the day seems to be this ape coin, but this thing was like insane yesterday, wasn't it? I forget how much it was yesterday, but it was quite a bit. Last week, 20th, yeah, that a nice pump. So 2 days ago. Interesting. Anyways, we're down 13.7% to $1.46. Let's see. Biggest earner of the day seems to be Aptos, 9% up on the day, $10.90. Again, Cas was up 4.1% now, 13.6 to be exact. Let's see. Near Protocol again is down 4.3 to $4.70. I think Near is going to do good as well this run. HNT 5.9% up on the day, $7.04. Nice. Popcat, if anybody's into that, $1.41 today, 5.5% up on the day. Yeah, nothing really jumping out at me, but that's about it. I guess Hex takes second place for biggest loser of the day, 8.1% down to a penny, 1.2 to be exact. All right, flashbang Fear and Greed Index, let's see what we got. We got a 70 over here. Let me just double check. Yep, 70 on greed. We have yesterday was actually 72. That's good though. We want the needle to move down in this direction. I want to see it get back into the middle before the election. I think the election is going to make things pop off. This is my opinion, but anyways, yeah, that's pretty good. 70. I'm glad it's coming down a bit. Over 75 is when I really worry about it. All right, let's see. Let me refresh this quick. We're going to start off over here. CoinGecko, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. Starting with Bitcoin at a $1.3 trillion market cap, we got Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, XRP, Lido Staked Ether, Dogecoin, and Tron in 10th place at a $13.7 billion market cap. Let's see, Toncoin's in 11th place, and we have Cardano, ADA, in 12th place at a $12.95 billion market cap, just under 13 billion. It's going to be catching up to Toncoin, hopefully. See what happens there. What's Caspa looking like for their market cap? Right now they're at 3.3, almost 3.4 billion dollar market cap. Nice. So it's definitely, things are coming back into it, which is nice. 24-hour volume is 50 million. Not too bad. Yeah, that's about it there, guys. That's about it there. Let's jump on to the mining segment of things. You guys know I like to timestamp this stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. All right, we got the KS5 Pro.
What? Is that the first? What's happening? I forgot the block rewards going crazy right now. I wonder why. Why? Does anybody know why? Why are the block rewards going nuts on all Caspa machines right now? Because clearly they're taking the cake for the first place here. The KS5 Pro 21 terahash units making 3630 a day. That's crazy. But that's a big oof for lithium. Lithium got kicked down. Real quick, let me see. Thank you, Crypto KJ. Put this in the chat. Holy shit. Oh my god. I have to turn my stuff on solo mining. What in the hell is going on? Why are the block rewards so high? That's crazy. 500, 600, 500, 700, 800. You guys see that? Look at these. Look at the rewards. Why are they so high? That's crazy. I mean, hey, shit, I'll take it. That's just perfect. I don't know. I don't know. How long is this gonna last? How long is this gonna last? Because of KDAO minting. Is that how you say that? Not James? Interesting. Let me see. Crypto KJ just put more shit in the chat. Let's see. Hold on. We'll timestamp that stuff in a minute. Oh god. Crypto KJ, why you do me like that? What is this? What is this? XT? What the hell's XT? Is this the egg exchange? I have no idea. What is this though? What are you showing me? What is this for? Why are you showing me that? Okay, KJ. What is that? Explain it. Yeah, because KDAO huge mint causing high fees. Interesting. Interesting. Casper's KRC20. Yeah, but what? I'm confused. But why are you? I guess why are you showing me that? That won't load. Why are we looking at this though? I guess. I'm confused. Please someone enlighten me. I don't have enough time for all this fucking nonsense. KRC20 Nacho on Phoenix. Let's see. Casper's going nuts. Casper's KRC20. Yeah, but what is that? KRC20 on exchanges? Oh, that's what you're saying. I gotcha. Listen, the price of Casper ain't moving. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be real. Meme coins are yeah, they're fun, but like at the end of the day, KRC20, in my opinion right now, is all meme coins. That's it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, all right, the AL1 Pro 16.6 terahash unit over here in second place, $34.66 a day. How is a lithium looking today? Let's see. We got $1.18, pretty much stagnant from yesterday. I think it was $1.16 yesterday. Can't remember. But KS5 20 terahash unit Caspa miner over here, $34.57 a day. Just for the record, by the way, I don't think you guys should go out and like buy any of these units. Okay, any of these Caspa miners, just because they're more profitable right now, it's not going to last forever right now on these machines. Okay, just wait until the new ones come out. That's my opinion. Over here, the AL1 15.6 terahash unit making $32.56 a day. The AL3 15 terahash unit making $31.01 a day. And the reason I said that about the KS5 is because Ice River took them off of their site, and with the recent pump in profits, they re-put the KS5 back on their site. So I don't want to see people like spending money thinking it's a good idea to go buy them. You know what I mean? So just be smart, please. Put your money, buy the coin if you believe in it, my opinion. The Ice River KS5M 15 terahash unit making $23.17 a day. We got the L9 17 gigahash unit making $21.38 a day. The 16 gigahash unit is making $20.12 a day. That's amazing. Litecoin and Dogecoin, perfect. These script miners are freaking amazing. I love them. Where's my L7? Let's see. My L7, my 9050. You guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. If you're interested in hosting, please check out the link in the description. My 9050 is making $7.72 a day. I'll take it. Perfect. I will take it. That's awesome. Let's see. Anything else I really care to look at today? Ale Box 2 Plus 1 terahash unit over here, $1.48 a day. I got this thing in the solar trailer. I'll be making about $2 a day on it, running it off the sun. Let's see, we got KS2. I don't even think they make these anymore. 2 terahash unit,
Even the KS2 is making $1.30 a day. Wow. Hold on, where is the Ultra? KS0 Ultra. Look at that, making 60 cents a day now. A Duke into that as well. That's awesome. All right, at least we're making some money on those now. The RX0 Radiant's really been taking a shit too, huh? 44 cents. Damn, what's Radiant looking like? Did we drop a decimal point? Oh, we did. Jesus. Man, Radiant's been taking a real shit. Wow. Interesting. It's 100th of a penny. I guess 800th of a penny. Is that how you say that? How I'd say that? 100th of a penny? I'm pretty sure. That's yeah. I don't know. That sucks. Anyways, sorry to anybody that has one of those, I guess. I mean, at least it was cheap. It wasn't like crazy, and I'm sure you'll make your money back eventually. It's just gonna take a bit. All right, let's see. GPUs over here, moving on, getting out of the A6. Aleo seems to be the top of the charts still, most profitable for everything except for the 6800 XT that's mining Chlor. We have the 7900 XT mining Xano, Bitcoin Gold, and Chlor. Interesting. 3070 Ti laptop on Xano. Please don't mine on your laptops. It's a terrible idea. 7900 XTX, Xano, Bitcoin Gold, and Chlor. Interesting. Yeah, so that's pretty much your consensus there on what to mine with GPUs. Check out Aleo. 11.84% up. Wow, nice. $2.27. Had a bit of a jump, about a quarter, a little over a quarter from yesterday. Interesting. Nice. That's good. Not a hold for me, but mine and take profits, my opinion. CPUs over here. Somebody's saying Zephyr was pumping. Zephyr looks like it is top of the charts. Nice. Inverus coin on the AMD Epic. Well, actually, yeah, only a couple of the epics. Interesting. Varus coin. Let's look at Zephyr real quick. Is that 53%? What in the hell? Perfect. You weren't lying. It is pumping. $4.31. Wow. I wonder why. Why is it pumping? Jesus. Damn, this shit went from $1. What? This went from $1 2 days ago? No, 4 days ago? Jesus. Is anybody still mining this? Dude, sell it. Take your profits. What the hell are you doing? Take your profits on that one. That's 50% up. Get the fuck out. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Take your money off the table. My opinion. All right, moving on. News. I want to see what the hell we got going on over here. Don't have too much time. The U.S. continues to surprise to the upside, says this guy over on CNBC television. Let's do it. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out.
Our next guest says the market may be in the early stage of a melt-up. Let's bring in Ed Yardeni, president of Yardeni Research. That certainly isn't, I don't think, consensus, and I guess a lot of people would be surprised by that. Ed, I mean, We've seen it, but every time we see it, where we start out a day sort of either quiet or down in the morning, or maybe up a little bit, and by the end of the session we're up 200 or 300 points. It's happened again and again and again. That's the characteristics. That's the characteristics of a melt-up, and it's being met with a lot of skepticism. So maybe the ingredients are right.
Well, I think that when you look at the performance of the market, the best way to think about a melt-up is what's the valuation multiple doing relative to earnings? And the valuation multiple has had quite a run. It's up almost 50% since the beginning of this bull market. And earnings have also been improving. So the question is this a PE-led melt-up or an earnings-led melt-up? A PE-led melt-up would be reminiscent of the late 1990s. An earnings-led melt-up would be more sustainable. I think at this point, I'm pleased with what's going on the earnings side. I think earnings are going to be pretty good in the third quarter, but valuation is definitely stretched. It's not as bad as the melt-up in the late 1990s, but it's getting there.
So a melt-up, if
I feel like they just want to keep saying the word melt-up. Is it just me? They said it like 15 times in the last like 30 seconds.
We're already in it. Maybe we're partially through it, but since the election is in only 15 days, I would imagine that any melt-up would have to just go right through the election and then into maybe 2025. Does it matter to you how like so many things, maybe the election is just another one of those data points that may or may not matter much to what the market does as far as the big picture.
Yeah, I hope that's the case, but this is probably going to be a very, very close race and maybe a bitterly contested one. And I don't know that would be a good backdrop for a melt-up. The market might have some second thoughts about that. The other possibility, of course, is a Democratic or a Republican sweep, in which case the market's going to have to be very concerned about deficits being even wider and possible inflationary consequences. And in fact, the stock market's kind of ignoring what's going on in the bond market. Ever since the Fed lowered the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points, guess what? The bond yield's gone up by almost 50 basis points. And so the bond market's signaling that bond investors, my friends, the bond vigilantes, are starting to stir. They're not particularly happy with the potential inflationary consequences of what the Fed did, because the Fed, I think increasingly it's clear, they might have overreacted with the 50 basis point cut and stimulated an economy that doesn't really need stimulating.
So what's the thesis for earnings growth continuing to be solid and above trend? Is that include? Right. Are you talking global? Are you talking China? Are you talking Europe recovering, or everything here in the United States?
Yeah, everything here in the United States is basically the story. I'm not that convinced that China is going to be able to stimulate its way out of a historic bursting of a real estate bubble, and Europe still has lots of issues like competition from China. The German auto industry is getting really clocked by what's going on with China's exports of electric vehicles. I think the U.S. continues to surprise to the upside. The labor market, at least in the latest data, looks pretty good. If you don't like the latest data, wait for the next batch and maybe there'll be a revision. But I like the latest data. It looks pretty strong. The real GDP is tracking at over 3% for the third quarter. There has been no landing. There hasn't even been a soft landing, quite honestly. And as a result of that, I think earnings are going to be quite good. And I think the part of the story is the economy's resilience, and the other part is productivity and profit margin making a comeback. So the earnings side is pretty good. Look, my melt-up concerns, I try to convey my concerns by providing some subjective probabilities. And when the Fed lowered the Fed funds rate by 50 basis points, I raised the subjective probability from 20% to 30%. I'm still using 50% for what I call a roaring 2020s scenario, and then the rest of the 20% is trouble, geopolitical problems, and maybe even domestic political problems.
Ed, even though I said the election doesn't matter, so what do you think could impact earnings either positively or negatively? So on the one side, you've got the possibility of more tariffs. You've got more than a few tax cuts on the table. The 2017 would be extended. We've heard even the SALT cap might come off. On the other hand, if it was if the Democrats were to win, you could conceivably have corporate rates go up to 28%. You could have capital gains rates increase. You could have quite a bit of spending on social programs. I mean, there's a lot of different things we're talking about.
A lot of different things.
Which would be more of a threat to your strong earnings case?
I think you've covered it pretty well, Joe. All of the above. I'm rooting for gridlock. Our founders came up with this system called checks and balances. On Wall Street, we call it gridlock. And I hope that all the extreme policy proposals that both Trump and Harris have made just run into gridlock. Some of them are extreme on the tariff side, on the tax side for the corporations from Harris. And so I think the market has ignored politics, and I think rightly so. But I think it may be harder to ignore politics once we see what the results are. If the results are gridlock, then I think melt-up is actually becomes more possible because then there's some of the extreme populist policies. Both politicians are promising their base everything they could possibly wish for, but I'm wishing that the political system gridlocks on them.
Interesting. All right, let's real quick. If you guys don't know what a melt-up is a sudden persistent rise in the price of a security or market, often due to investor hurting. So anybody doesn't know what that is, I've heard that term before, but I had no idea what it meant. Market's still in the buy the dip mode, says FunStrats. Tom Lee, you guys, that like button, appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Let's talk more about where this rally goes from here this morning with FunStrat Global Advisors Head of Research and CNBC contributor Tom Lee, who recently raised his target to S&P 6K. Tom, good to have you. I loved your note the other day looking at what S&P revenue has done in the face of declining inflation. And your general point is that real revenue has accelerated, and that kind of explains why equities have been so resilient.
That's right, Carl. As you know, many investors and pundits thought as inflation fell, and it's been cut in half in the last 2 years, that would cause revenue growth not only to hit a wall, but that earnings would stall. But instead, S&P revenue growth is going to be over 5% this quarter. And on a real basis, that's over plus 2%. And that's the strongest. It's really one of the strongest numbers in more than 2 years. And so it is a really high quality earnings season so far. And, close to 80%, or actually more than 80% are beating earnings so far. So it's a good beat season, but it's early.
Right. And how much of it is due to financials? Is any kind of tailwind, although we heard various comments about this, if a Fed tailwind does exist, is it likely to affect other areas of the economy as much as the banks?
Well, in your opening comments, you talked about industrials, and that's something to watch because last week financials reported, and it was, pretty much universally better than expected, and financials are doing really well year to date. But the other group that's very sensitive to the Fed cutting would be industrials, and there's a lot of industrial reports this week. It's about a quarter of the S&P, but I'd say it's so far so good. And again, industrials are doing well in the face of an ISM that's kind of been at rock bottom for 2 years now.
Tom, how much would you ascribe the recent momentum to aspects of the election as that draws near, just over 2 weeks away?
I think that's been a dynamic. I mean, I've been fooled by seasonality because I figured from September to Election Day, markets would be very tentative because this is an extremely close race. I mean, this is a coin toss, according to Nate Silver. But something that Stan Druckenmiller said last week might explain a lot, that markets are betting that Republicans could take the Senate, and that actually could ignite animal spirits. So there may be underlying momentum that the Republicans take parts of Congress, and that's why markets are bullish.
Are you at all worried? There were some comments out of German PPI was down 1.4 year on year, Tom, but there was some ancillary commentary about worries about a reflationary period, largely due to geopolitical events. We mentioned oil coming back a bit today. How worried are you about that?
Well, I think that headline CPI could definitely get affected because oil moves dynamically, and it has an almost immediate effect on headline CPI. And we know transport costs have also spiked recently. Part of it's seasonal, but that affects headline. I think the market's going to be somewhat skeptical that could trigger a sustained reigniting of inflation. But I think the economic data is going to be a little confusing the next couple of months because, the Boeing strike itself is going to affect the jobs report. But I think ultimately the Fed is still on a path towards getting back to neutral. I think that should be the focus. And that means, stocks which have been strong are really still a buy the dip market.
Gold's at a record high. I don't know if you guys saw that on the bottom of that whole article or them talking. Buy high and sell higher. Let's see what this guy's going to say again. CNBC television. Let's do it.
It does take us to our talk of the tape. What could be the most volatile stretch of the year for stocks and how to play these next couple of weeks. Let's ask Dan Greenhouse, Solus Alternative Asset Management's chief strategist, with us once again at Post 9. It's good to see you again. Is that what we should prepare for? What could be the most volatile couple of weeks? You got mega cap earnings, and then, of course, 2 weeks from tomorrow, you got the election.
Yeah, listen, we should probably have a little more volatility, although it bears mentioning that the VIX is, call it 18 right now, which considering the stock market's making a new high, is already a fairly high level. So already you have some volatility that belies some of the historical analogies, if you will.
So I have most commentary out there today is that we're still positive, right? We're still in the uptrend. Tony Pasquarello at Goldman, baseline view positive given the inherently friendly interplay between growth and the Fed. You cut out all the noise. Is that what you distill it down to like you did?
Yeah. I think it's really that simple. Earnings are going up, obviously at a slower pace. The economy is expanding at a somewhat slower pace, although still robust. And when you put those two things together, that type of an environment is traditionally positive for equities. And the better question is not, should the stock market be going up? Why is the stock market going up? The question is how best to play that, what sector, what asset class, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I mean, you say earnings are going up, but then you sort of couch it a little bit with at a slower pace, yep, which is fair. I mean, that's estimates have definitely come down. But multiples are not really expanding at a slower pace. So you got the valuation of the market like 22.5 times, yep, which is historically rich. But if you're telling me that earnings are growing at a slower pace, the rubber meets the road somewhere between that, doesn't it?
Well, the issue I have with the valuation argument, listen, clearly 20, 21, 22 times forward earnings is more highly valued than the equity market has traditionally been over time outside of a couple of episodes. So there's no doubt about that. And no one should dismiss that. The problem I have with
it, you right now.
Well, no, I'm not. No, the problem I have with it is I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. And what I mean by that is there was a point in time in the 2010s where people were telling me 16, 17, 18 times is historically rich, and I wasn't sure what to do with it then either. Valuation is one of those things that are one of those market observations totally worth being aware of, totally worth making, but outside of the extremes, call it single digits, 8, 9 times, or extremely high levels, call it 29, 30, 31, 32 times. In the middle there, it's really difficult to ascertain which one of those metrics is worse than the other. Is 20 rich? Is 22 rich? Is 24 rich? You don't really know without the benefit of hindsight.
Look, I think the point of discussing it and asking the question is to debate/discuss whether people who are still sitting in a fair amount of cash should get into this market now or wait because it's too expensive at a time where earnings expectations, though high, are coming in And there are some calls that returns over the next few years are going to be kind of meager.
Yeah, so I saw the return thing, but the return argument. But before we get to that, do we know that there are people sitting in large amounts of cash? We've been in a bull market, obviously not uninterrupted, for 15 years now or so, I'm rounding. Obviously, we had COVID in the middle, and that scared some people out. But I don't really know that there's a lot of people sitting in large amounts of cash for fear of the market,
Well, I mean, there was a lot of money. The numbers bear it out. I mean, over the last few years, because of what the Fed was doing with interest rates, there's obviously was a lot of money sitting in money markets.
There's $6+ trillion sitting in money market funds.
Okay,
Fine.
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. You need to scale that for something. And when you normalize that for, say, the size of the equity market, it's not particularly egregious. The equity market is 51 trillion in size right now. Put that way, 6 trillion, not that much. But part B of that conversation is, yes, there's a lot of cash, but does that mean there are a lot of investors sitting in large percentages of cash themselves? No, I'm not sure that's the case.
But I think people are asking the question of, should I become more invested at record highs? We're on a 6-week winning streak.
Our friend
Joe, the longest of the whole year.
Listen, I don't know if tomorrow was a momentary pause, but I'll borrow a phrase from our friend Joe Turnover. You're not supposed to buy low, sell high. You're supposed to buy high and sell higher. And that's an oversimplification and sort of a snide remark.
No, it was a title of his book. We get it. But
you're welcome, Joe.
Thank you very much.
Interesting. All right. Last but not least, you guys hear this? Oh, God. What is this? Anyways, Elon Musk vows to give away $1 million to voters who signed a petition from Musk's super PAC. I want to see what this is all about. I haven't heard this yet.
Turning back to the U.S. and the election as both candidates try to target voters in swing states, Elon Musk vowing to give away $1 million every day to a randomly selected voter who signs
every day. Sign me up.
Petition that's circulated by his super PAC. Our Steve Kovacs here at Post 9 talk about what this means, all the opinions about whether or not it's legal.
It seems illegal, but let's get into that in a second. This is, of course, Musk's latest scheme over the weekend to get Trump elected again, offering swing state voters a chance to receive $1 million for registering with his America PAC, which is, of course, backing Donald Trump's candidacy. But legal experts and even Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro warning this weekend this could all be illegal. Federal law says it's illegal to pay or offer to pay for registering to vote or voting a certain way. The penalty, up to 5 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Then again, we're so close to the election, guys, that the legal system is likely not even going to catch up in time if this does have an impact one way or the other. Now, over the weekend, America PAC said it gave 2 people the $1 million checks in the swing state of Pennsylvania. We see the novelty check right there. And it's planning to give away $1 million a day after that up till Election Day on November 5th. Now, this applies to voters in swing states.
I heard that actually gave somebody $1 million at that town hall. That's insane.
Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, the states we keep talking about. On top of that, they're offering $47 payments if you register someone else to vote in a swing state, and that gets even better in Pennsylvania. $100 if you register someone there. That is, of course, the most important swing state according to most people. And the petition requires you just to give stuff like your name, your phone number, your physical address, and your email address, which is, of course, all valuable information for PACs to target their messaging and advertising. Other than that, the petition is just a basic pledge to support the First and Second Amendments. Now, what Musk may get out of all this, not just the direct payments, but campaigning in general for Trump, there's a potential position in Trump's administration to dramatically cut government jobs and spending. This could be the very same agencies that regulate Elon Musk's companies like Tesla and SpaceX. And this is also being compared to how he gutted Twitter, which turned out to be a disaster for that business, cutting all that headcount and overhead guys.
What? How was that a disaster? That was great. I mean, there was no reason to have all those people working at Twitter. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, that's true. He cut all the fat, trimmed the fat. Is what it is. All right, Bitcoin retreats after testing support at $69,000. As we know, it's at about 67 right now. Yeah, 67. All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. The SEC is paving the way for more options trading on spot Bitcoin ETFs. The regulator granted accelerated approval of a rule change to permit the listing and trading of spot Bitcoin ETF options on the New York Stock Exchange and CBOE. Now, this follows approval of options trading for BlackRock's IBIT spot Bitcoin ETF on the NASDAQ in September. In its approval of the NYSE's proposal, the SEC says that options on these ETFs, which began trading back in January, would permit hedging and allow for more liquidity, better price efficiency, and less volatility with respect to the underlying funds. Next, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong is rolling out public endorsements for pro-crypto candidates in the final days of the 2024 election. The head of the largest U.S. crypto exchange took to X yesterday to endorse Republican Senate candidates Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania and John Deaton in Massachusetts. Armstrong argues that the candidates are better for crypto and accuses Senator Elizabeth Warren, who Deaton is running against, of getting SEC Chair Gary Gensler in his position to, quote, unlawfully kill the crypto industry here. Now, Coinbase, which is battling with the SEC in court, is a major backer of lobbying group Stand With Crypto, which aims to get pro-crypto candidates in office. That group has backed both Republicans and Democrats in congressional races across the country. All right, let's turn to Austin, Texas, and Formula One for our main story. The United States Grand Prix took place in the Lone Star State over the weekend, while thousands of fans attended the race. Many were also watching the action from Kraken's Fan Zone in partnership with Williams Racing. It's part of a growing trend from crypto and fintech firms to back the sport, which is amassing more and more U.S. fans. Now, I traveled to Austin ahead of the race to talk to Kraken and Williams to find out why they think this partnership could be a boon for both of them. Formula One is making deep inroads in the U.S., and I'm here in Austin, Texas, for the United States Grand Prix to find out how crypto is trying to take advantage of the surge in U.S. F1 fans. I met up with Kraken at its Fan Zone, put on in partnership with Williams Racing.
The Fan Zone is actually a free fan experience that Williams puts on in various cities throughout the world during the race season. So I think this is their 6th or 7th one. They've gone from Australia to London to Miami, and we're here in Austin now. So it's a great experience for fans to come and check out F1 without having to pay anything for it.
Kraken, which is used by more than 13 million customers globally, first launched this partnership with Williams Racing back in March of 2023, a time when crypto-friendly banks in the U.S. were going under during the global banking crisis, and as a mix of digital asset firms were winding their way through bankruptcy court as their former executives were in a mix of U.S. criminal courts. Now, back then, the Mercedes F1 team had also just had its FTX sponsorship collapse as that exchange was revealed to be a multi-billion-dollar fraud. But 18 months later, crypto prices are rebounding, a lot of those outstanding cases have been resolved, and crypto's regained a bit of its reputation among banks and businesses. Just ahead of the race in Austin, Kraken announced that it was extending its partnership with Williams. The exchange tells me that it sees real potential to expand its user base by tapping into F1's fan base.
Our key growth audience is here. They're F1 fans. F1 is probably one of the fastest growing sports in the world. You know, there's Drive to Survive. There's a number of different things that have just exploded this sport over the past couple of years.
Now, Kraken isn't alone. OKX sponsors McLaren's F1 team, and some of the biggest names in payments have also jumped in. Visa and Cash App are title sponsors of the Red Bull F1 team, and MoneyGram is the title sponsor of the Haas team. This wider push by fintech firms into Formula One appears to be a play at capturing the attention of the sport's rapidly growing global and young fan base. In the case of Kraken, the sport's fastest growing fan demographic isn't their typical crypto user. More and more young women are tuning into these races. F1 fans are estimated to be around 40% female, up from just 8% in 2017. Data also shows that the average F1 fan is 32 years old, which skews younger than those tuning into the NFL and NBA. The racing series comes at a higher price point, which is matched with a more luxurious race experience, so the income band of F1 fans also tends to be higher. Nielsen data finds that in the U.S., the majority of these F1 goers are males between the ages of 25 and 44, and apparently more likely to have an annual household income of $75K or more. Kraken is looking to capture those eyes and set itself apart from the other sponsors across crypto and tech. And it's turning to NFTs in part to do that. Last year, the company held a competition letting artists compete to place their NFT on the rear wing of the Formula One car. And they're doing it again this year. Now the question is what this also means for Williams. The 10 teams in the league get a share of revenue that comes from media deals and sponsorships. They also take in money through team-specific partnerships. The better the team does on the track, the easier it is.
Is that a simulator? That's dope.
To bring in cash. In 2021, the league instituted a budget cap of $135 million per team, which limits what a team could spend on R&D for their cars. Now, before that, top teams could spend several times that. The limit has helped to level the playing field for teams like Williams as it looks to draw in additional revenue from new sponsors to get competitive. The team is currently looking to stage a major comeback in the league, and the principal for Team Williams tells me that this partnership is part of making that happen.
There's such a following behind this historic man, behind this fantastic man, and what you see behind that is exactly that. And what we're doing here is giving back to the public. So first and foremost, it's an opportunity to see the car, touch the car, be here. Franco was here, Alex was here, I'm here as well. And I love these events because it's one of the unique times where there's no barriers. You're just here surrounded by real fans of sport and real fans of Williams as well at the same time. Kraken is obviously one of our partners along the way that work with us, and they do very unique sort of fan activation events that form part of it. There's no other team on the grid doing this at the moment. We're the only one. We do it in around about 10 to 14 of the races, and everyone is, I've learned something in every single one time I've done it.
Formula One is so much about innovation. The league is undergoing its biggest regulation change in 30 years, and teams are having to engineer new solutions to be compliant. We're talking everything from innovations in e-fuel to totally rebuilding the engine. The advanced engineering that goes into these cars on the track can ultimately end up driving innovation on the cars on our roads. And Williams sees an opportunity to partner with what it sees as innovation in the fintech space too. Okay.
That was really neat, actually. Dude, could you imagine like wrecking in one of those things? Fucking terrifying how fast they go and how small the freaking thing is. All right, we're gonna listen to a little bit of this. I don't know how he probably gets. He looks a bit squirrely this morning. I don't know what's going on here, but let's see. Bitcoin rejected. Now what? Let's hear what he's gonna say.
Bitcoin just got rejected. Now what? Well, we got a lot to talk about in today's video. Big altcoin news, AI, meme coins, all kinds of fun stuff. Even what Ethereum's doing. Ethereum's doing Not much, but we're going to talk about it anyway. It's going to be a good time, guys. Stick around for it. Let's get straight into it. Talk about the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, my buddy. Look at this. We've had a beautiful run for Bitcoin. This is the weekly candle here, okay? We've run this weekly candle from $62,500 all the way up to $69,000 and a little bit of change there. That's a beautiful weekly candle. The new weekly candle starting off with a little bit of a correction. Now, how deep does that correction go? Time will tell, but I've got some ideas on that. And look, this is an interesting place for this to happen, because if we extend this orange line over just a little bit, where do we get to? Oh, look at that. Key price resistance from back here in July. This was always going to be a sticky area. And I know that everybody wants to get super mega long when Bitcoin is pumping, okay? The best time to get super long on Bitcoin is when we drop back down to an area of price support, okay? That's what you should be looking out for. Now, where are the key areas of price support here? Well, kind of, really, on this line right here, this downtrending line, although I'll be curious to see if that can hold or if we go a little bit lower. Now, very key thing to note, this is a higher high here at 69K, so we're doing okay, all right? We still have our MACD bull cross right here in play, so that's a very important thing to keep in mind as well. And even if we come back down to $66,000, we come back down to support around $62,000 or $63,000, might seem scary to some people, but that would actually be totally fine and normal and healthy and would just be a higher low. None of this stuff is crazy or out of the ordinary. It would really change the big picture, right? That wouldn't invalidate the weekly MACD bull cross, right? And that wouldn't invalidate the overall bullish market structure that we are firming up right now, okay?
Real quick. So right there in this video, it's 67,000 that he's showing for Bitcoin. 67,349. So it's a little tad bit higher than where he's pointing right now. So we're like right at that line still.
So those are just some ideas for you to consider. Once we break beyond 69K with some kind of conviction here on the daily, let's switch over to the daily here so you can have a little bit of a view of that as well. Once we break over this with some kind of conviction here on the daily, then things can get pretty exciting. Look, 66K is a very interesting area, isn't it? Right down here. Going back down lower, if we come down to 62 or 63K, that lines up with the 50 and 100-day exponential moving averages anyway, which are key areas of price support for Bitcoin. Not saying that's definitively going to happen, but these are areas to be looking at for a pullback on this move, okay? So we'll see how that plays out. Once we start cracking over 69K with some kind of conviction, right? Daily candle closes above. That's when we start talking about taking out the next areas, right? That becomes 72K and, of course, 74K, which is the big one. And when 74K gets broken, that's the line of lines, okay? This initial breakout is very exciting.
Things are going to rocket.
See, of course, some strength build here. But when we get beyond 74K, that's when the real fireworks start. As I've said many, many times before, that's when numbers go up, technology gets activated. That's when everyone gets very excited about Bitcoin and the timeline again, much more so than now. The media starts covering it. Normally start flooding back in, all that kind of stuff, okay? In the background, by the way, China cutting interest rates by 25 basis points again. China is going through record easing and stimulus right now, and it's having an effect, okay? Markets are currently loving it. I like this by Rectomedes. He said, rate cuts, Trump wins, guns are gone, radical repricing, normies invade, speculative mania, $200,000 Bitcoin, top signals everywhere, AI calls, $100 billion meme coins, $10 trillion crypto market cap, rampant degeneracy, Valhalla ascension. Would you be ready, Anon? That's what's coming. That's what's coming. That kind of crazy is what's coming. And that, of course, is when most people will be rushing to buy. And you're not going to be buying, though. You're the smart one. You bought early. You're going to be selling when you see all that stuff happening on your timeline, okay? You're not going to be buying. You're going to remember, you're not a genius. It's just a bull market. You have to sell. That's the genius move in a bull market, okay? It's to sell, not to buy more. Real quick shout out to today's sponsors. I trust.
Nope, not you, fucker. Not today. All right, let's move on.
Into it. This is crazy. Phil here sharing. Bitcoin miners have depleted the reserves by 87,000 Bitcoin since the halving. Reserves now set at an all-time low following the post-halving hash rate capitulation event. Now, this is wildly important because when the miners don't have Bitcoin to dump, this is what the post-halving is all about. 6 months post-halving. Here we are, okay? 6 months post-halving, and everything's lining up perfectly.
I actually love this chart.
Macro scenes. Oh, crazy stuff's going on there. And the Bitcoin miners simply don't have that much Bitcoin to dump into the markets anymore. That's the beauty of the Bitcoin halving. It reduces the ability of the miners to dump into the market. At the same time, demand's constantly going up year after year. It's a crazy thing. Look at this demand right here. Boom. Last week finished strong. Friday, $270 million of positive inflows for Bitcoin ETF products, rounding out a $2 billion+ week of inflows. That's insanity. These are wild, wild numbers we're seeing here. Bitcoin whale data shows pre-COVID rally behavior. Look at this chart right here. Very similar to what we saw back here. The exchange whale ratio represented by the 30-day moving average currently mirrors patterns last observed in 2020 after the COVID-19 crash. In that instance, whales aggressively accumulated Bitcoin, which preceded the massive bull run that took Bitcoin to new all-time highs into 2021. Whales are accumulating, baby. And look at this. Quentin with a great chart here. Retail is sleeping. Not you and I, okay? We're retail. We're not sleeping. We're paying attention. We're talking about
This is Google
the big herd of wildebeests that's going to come to the watering hole pretty soon, okay? We're the clever ones. We're here first, okay? We're the wild hogs, the giraffes, the rhinos. We got here first, man. The wildebeests, they're coming. They're going to spoil the party. But when they get here, we're going to slowly slip away, and the crocodiles are going to eat all those guys, okay? That's how it works. That's how it works, man. But you got to be a sneaky rhino and slip away when the time comes, okay?
Right now.
Anyway, he says, retail is sleeping while institutions and whales are loading their bags. It's very true. ETF, $2 billion last week. Bitcoin whales munching hard. Retail's nowhere to be seen. Oh, but they're going to come back.
This right here, this Google Trends chart, so basically tells you how often this is searched, right? So I don't know if this is like percentage, but this is obviously throughout all these blue areas, right? But this is how many, like how often crypto, the term crypto is searched on Google Trends.
When Bitcoin cracks 74K, media's going to go into a frenzy. It's going to be nuts. This is some perspective for you as well. Look at this. Bitcoin, 6% from all-time highs. Ethereum, 43%. Solana, 36% down. XRP, pour one out for the poor XRP holders, 83% down. Doge, down 80%. Cardano, 88%. Oh, my Chainlink bags at 77. VeChain. Is that even talking about VeChain anymore? Crazy.
But I had XRP for like ever, and I got out of it like a couple weeks ago. I'm so sick of it.
Gala. Anyway, this some interesting perspective for you. Let's put it that way. Croissant shirt. He said last time Bitcoin was trading at $69,000, Ethereum was trading at $4,200. Bruh. That's crazy, man. Because today, Ethereum ain't nowhere close to that. ETH, what's going on, man? What's going on? You feeling okay, buddy? Buddy, come back to us anytime now. My ETH bags. Oh, man. Still, now we got a nice little rally this week for Ethereum. Of course, went up from 2450 to 2750 or whatever. Fine.
Don't forget, we went down to like 1400 or so.
Fine, Ethereum. That's okay, I guess. But gosh darn it, man. Until we break $2,800 for Ethereum,
and everything's looking up.
Not so much to report, to be honest. Big unlock coming for Celestia this week.
All right, he's just going to shill some other bullshit now. I'm not going to get into that. All right, a warning to all Bitcoin and crypto investors. Altcoin Daily. Let's see what they got to say over here. It's about 11 hours ago. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Hate asking, but YouTube makes me.
The Bitcoin price continues its rally, although dipping today, showing heavy volatility into this golden cross. I prepared you for the impact of this golden cross about 2 weeks ago. Bitcoin is about to make a golden cross. And while there's a bit more danger in the market today, BTC options open interest is near all-time highs. I mean, literally, there's more leverage in the system right now than the 2021 Bitcoin tops. And also for Bitcoin futures on the CME, it's literally hitting new all-time highs. This all affects you if you're invested in crypto, and all in anticipation of what looks like the completion of the Bitcoin Golden Cross. And just as a reminder, a Golden Cross is when a shorter term moving average, like the 50-day moving average, crosses over a longer term moving average, like the 200-day, indicating a trend change.
As you can see, like looking, you know, when it's over, typically things come down, but when it's above the red line here, you know, the golden line usually brings the price up. So when this starts to, it could be huge.
Like the 200-day, indicating a trend change of momentum to the upside. And just looking at the last few times in Bitcoin's history,
there you go, perfect.
Once at the very end of 2023, really the start of this current bull market, the 50-day, the yellow, crossed over the 200-day, the pink. The rally was before that, little sell-off on the day, but the momentum shift was there. We saw a golden cross again at the very beginning of 2023. Of course, we were coming off the FTX crash lows of Bitcoin around $15,000. The rally was before the Golden Cross. We actually started correcting hard in the days before leading up to it. But the
Broski says this guy's always talking about the Golden Cross. Eventually he'll get it right. Yeah, it's kind of like a weatherman, you know? You say, you just keep saying it, eventually you're going to hit it.
Momentum shift was there, and although heavy volatility, the upwards trajectory continued.
No, but
and then, of course, looking at 2021,
thing.
actually where it all started,
it does happen.
The beginning, in 2020, we flipped-flopped back and forth above and below for a while. Again, that was due to this 2020 pandemic crash. That was the volatility, the confusion in the market. But then in mid-2020, we got that Golden Cross, ushering us into the 2021 bull run. And then zooming back into the present, as we approach another Golden Cross again, what does this mean for you and me as investors? Well, looking at Bitcoin options.
Exactly. Game with Smokey Dan has it exactly right. He said a broken clock is right twice a day.
Open interest today. There's more leverage in the system today than the 2021 Bitcoin peak highs. And this open interest is something to take into consideration. But just keep in mind, it's not overly bearish. It's not overly bullish. It does not mean that there's an overwhelming amount of shorts versus longs in the system, or longs versus shorts. All this means to me is to expect volatility in either direction. Built up leverage means that when we do finally move in one direction or another, it most likely will be volatile, right? I closed my long. I rode a lot of this golden cross up. I closed my positions late last week in this video right here. Not to say that we can't keep going higher as this golden cross completes. By the way, use referral code altcoin or our link and claim up to $10,000.
Shut up. God damn it. Oh, let's get shill shit.
Link down below. And I'm insanely bullish for Bitcoin in the long term. But this amount of open interest, leverage in the system just means to be careful, as markets could be insanely volatile in the short term. Long term, looking at the fundamentals, Bitcoin hash rate, aka the strength of the underlying computer network, just hit an all-time high. Also BlackRock. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has just become the third largest ETF in year-to-date flows, showing institutions are very much interested in accumulating the spot Bitcoin through the ETF. And looking at recent altcoin news, starting with XRP, Elon Musk was just asked on the future of XRP and crypto in the Trump administration.
Given how punitive the SEC has been towards crypto under this administration, do you envision the XRP ledger being incorporated into the financial institutions in the future?
Zero chance.
Well, I certainly cannot speak to any specific crypto, but you know, I do think that the sort of cryptocurrency is an interesting and probably valuable bulwark against a centralized control. So, you know, this is definitely not an endorsement or lack of endorsement for XRP, but I do think crypto, by its very nature, it helps with individual freedom.
So take that for
he
what
just wanted to scream Dogecoin. That's all he
you
wanted
will
to say.
if you're in the XRP army. And Elon Musk actually did comment on Dogecoin as well. By the way, follow us on Instagram for exclusive content. Can we moon the subscribers to over 4,000? Link down below. Also, big news today for Solana. Solana cryptocurrency could rally over 400% if Trump wins, according to Standard Chartered. As you know, Solana was one of our picks for the top 9 altcoin buys of 2025. So I'm going to try and keep you updated on the coins on that list. And the news today is historic. Solana is doing more volume than the entire Ethereum and Ethereum L2 ecosystem in the last 24 hours. So the fundamentals are beating the ETH ecosystem, yet Ethereum is beating Solana in other ways. The Ethereum L2s are beating L1s on fees. So it still is cheaper to transact right now on Polygon and Arbitrum versus Solana. This all comes after Ethereum's Denkin upgrade, where Ethereum L2 solutions are now cheaper than some of the top L1s. And to me, this just symbolizes that a winner has not been chosen yet. Let's check back in to these metrics. I'll keep you updated. Also, another coin.
Real quick, I want to show you guys. So XRP, someone said it in the chat. They wanted to ape into it. Who was it? Hold on. Is it all set? All set. Said, I'm on the fence with XRP, about to ape in. Hopefully catch a breakout holding XLM. Dude, XRP, this is why I'm done with it. Look at that. Like, since 2022. Okay, since 2022, this shit has been stagnant. All right, we won the court case in July of 23. They pumped up to like 80 cents and then right back down a couple weeks later. I'd say about a month later or so in August. And again, it's just been a turd floating in a bowl. It's literally just going in circles. That's all it's been doing the whole time. I'm done like hanging around waiting for it. It's my opinion.
That may be top 9 altcoins for 2025 list.
I don't think it's ever gonna rock it like it did.
I did give you the good and the bad. We talked about the token unlock coming up. This is where early investors finally get some of their tokens and they have the ability to sell. Well, I thought this was great perspective that everyone is asking me about the Ondo token unlock in January 2025, comparing Ondo's unlock now versus Solana's unlock back in 2021. Back in January 2021, Solana had a bigger unlock than Ondo, when Sol had around $1 billion market cap at $3 and still went from $3 a coin for Solana to over $280. Solana at $280 back in November of 2021 was a $71 billion market cap. So a token unlock in a bull market.
Lawnmower Man said, funny, a crypto person would invest into Harris. Yeah, and then the XRP put, what, it was $100,000 or was it like, it was more than that into the Harris campaign? I don't even know.
If the coin has other things going for it, not that big a deal. Also, Solana had one massive token unlock and all tokens were released at once, while Ondo is a linear unlock released monthly. This is good because no one can dump all at once, and linear unlocks don't impact price as much as one large unlock. Just something to keep in mind. And if you're bullish on AI altcoins, the Albert API demo is live. Think of this like a specialized chat GPT, specifically for solving math problems. So this is a really positive sign for the utility if you hold AIT. And just to watch a little bit of this demo.
No, I don't want to watch that.
innovation, and quick piece of news for ChangeGPT, which I'm an ambassador for. Think of them as the Web3.
All right, they're just shilling shit now. No more. All done with that. All right. Moving on to the recap segment of things. Anybody just joining? I gotta get back to daddy duty. You guys know the drill. Gotta get these kids to school. We got Bitcoin, 67,371 bucks. Still looking great, guys. It's still looking good. Ethereum, 2636. So we want to hold this line right here because we're right on the support level, or we broke through the resistance, right? And we want to use that resistance as support. So that's like right where we're at right now. So if we drop a bit more, that means we're gonna be going down probably a couple $1,000. That's pretty much what it looks like. Again, Ethereum at 2636. We got Solana, 168 bucks. XRP, again, turd floating in a bowl, 53 cents. Aptos over here, biggest earner of the day, almost 10%. It's $10.96. We got Caspa over 13.5 cents. Finally, the block rewards are going crazy for Caspa as of right now. Let's see, we got ETC at 19.20 over here. LTC's at $70.20. We get Near Protocol at $4.69. Dogecoin is holding over 14 cents. Duke into Dogecoin. That's amazing. Let's see, what else do we got? What else? Let's see. Popcat is up almost 8% to $1.43. We got CRE. What is this one? I forget what this coin is. 19 cents. 13, almost 13.5% up. I gotta see what it is. Carry? What is this? I don't even know what this one is. Where did this one come from? Weird. I don't remember seeing that ever. Crazy. BNB is up 596 bucks. Let's see. We got Toncoin, $5.25. BitTensor, 556 bucks. Let's check out Crypto Bubble, see if anything changed. Nothing really. Looks like Hex actually took the biggest loser of the day, down 9.5% to a penny, almost a penny and a tenth of a penny, I guess. Let's see. Aptos again up 9.7%. Uniswap's up 6.8 to $8.14. Nice. HNT is up 4% today, a little more than 4 at $7.05. Nice. It's actually almost 5%. Yeah, that's really it though. Flashbang Fear and Greed Index, we're at a 70 over here on the chart. Again, I'd like to see this come back to like the middle area. Under 70 would be nice. Below 75 though, we're doing pretty good, guys. With that being said, I gotta get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great, happy, and safe Tuesday. I will catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, give or take a few minutes. I'll catch you guys then. Have a good day and peace out.